Welcome to the Quality Coding Stream. I see a few folks are here. Say hello in the chat so I know that you're there. That's always fun. Hey, Mud Shark. Thank you for the welcome. I had a wonderful time away for a wedding in Puerto Rico, which is part of the United States. And it was a great time. It was good to be away. My first airplane flight in 2 years. So we survived. One family member did bring COVID back from another family member. So, but we're alive. We're alive, and that's good. Who else is here? For those who are just tuning in, or those who are watching after the fact on Twitch or on YouTube, Alvin. Well, hello, Alvin. Good to have you. And Junaid Khan now. Welcome back. Wow. So I was saying, for those who are, hey, Garbub, for those who are new to this, maybe watching now, maybe watching later, my name is John Reed. I am a trainer and coach at Industrial Logic. And before we get coding, actually, before we get to anything, I just want to mention larger context of life here in the United States. This time is on the U.S. is on my mind. Hello, Hilal Haqqani. Welcome. Yes, this session is being recorded. It will be on Twitch immediately, and for a while afterwards, and then after 24 hours, it will be available on YouTube as well. So the larger context of kind of like emotional stuff is life here in the United States this time. The U.S. Supreme Court just overturned abortion rights, which is devastating. It is deeply concerning. Because, as I saw one person put it this way, autonomy over your own body is more fundamental even than property rights. If we can't do that, then what are we even doing? So I want to mention that because that was a really sucky day yesterday, and it will be sucky days for days to come until we can figure out a way forward. Let's see, Junaid. I have a home exercise from a company. They told me to write units. I'm a little bit nervous because I've written unit test only in a practice project. Yeah. All right. Feel free to ask me questions. I'm here to help. I obviously won't help you with your home exercise. But if there are things that general tips, general questions, I'm happy to help you with that as we go. Let's see, on larger context before we get into coding, is this something I'm working on right now, a workshop called Industrial iOS Development. It is mainly targeted at people who want to learn iOS. So if you are an experienced iOS developer, this is probably not the workshop for you. I'm working on other things. But if you know folks who would like to get into iOS, this would be a great way to do it, because I'm not just going to teach iOS stuff. I'm going to teach the right way to approach coding. Mudshark, that's good advice to Junaid, is that one of the main barrier, I think, for folks writing unit tests in iOS is to not understand like how something is not isolated. For example, let's say you have a date. Well, that's automatically going to fight you in unit test land because that's not something you can control. That's something that's an external part of your environment. And so the solution to that most of the time is don't have your code get the date, tell it the date. And if it needs to get the date, like if it needs to know what time is it now, then do that in a closure. And that way the test can say, the production code can say, my closure is going to be date now. But the test can say, the date is actually going to be this date, not now. It's going to be something that the test controls. So good luck there, Junaid. Yeah, any sort of external thing is tricky. It needs to you need to not access those things directly. All right. Look at this. This is a discovery tree capturing some of the work that we've done in this project, where the key is to do, in progress, or done. And the goal is I want to provide a Swift package manager version of this tool, this testing tool. To do that, I'm converting Objective-C to Swift, not because you can't have a package with Objective-C, but you can't have a package with mixed languages. It can be either Objective-C or Swift, or a package. Apparently, a package can contain, here's the Objective-C version and here's the Swift version, but they can't talk to each other. So converting that over, it has 3 main verifiers. The alert verifier is done, and that was the that was the hardest one. Presentation verifier was much easier. And now let's move on to the dismissal verifier. And after this, I don't think we're going to be quite done, but we'll discover things as we go. Let me move some things aside here. In fact, I'm really think it might be time to get rid of all this, but let me just move it. Oh, y'all, move over. Whoops. Not like that. Like there. Like that. All right. Let us begin and discover what there is to do for the dismissal verifier. I think this will be straightforward, very much like the presentation one. This is the other side. So what the test tool does is it says, if you're presenting something, presenting a view controller, let's capture that. And in this case, if you're dismissing a view controller, let's capture that. Here's our handy dandy checklist, which grew organically. We want to extract any Objective-C parts if they're complicated. All right, let's get over. And here we are you. Here's my file list. It might be too small for you to see, but maybe you can see that there's very little Objective-C left. Almost everything is in Swift. And here we are with what's left of the UI view controller swizzling, which is capture, the dismiss, and then this actual, so the thing that does the swizzling and the swizzled method. And it just does notification center, grabs a closure, and posts a notification with the information that it received. All right. Let's roll. And unless you have other questions, and feel free to say other stuff. Oh, hey, more folks have joined in the chat. I mean, who are watching. Do say hello in the chat, especially if you're new. And it's always fun to learn where people are. It's fun for me. I hope it's fun for you to see that we got a global thing going here. All right, let us begin. And last time, well, it looks like we certainly have two methods to move over. So let me capture that and say we want the move the post notification. Why did I do that? And should I move that by itself? All right, so I'm marking things. Oh, blue is in progress. That's not right. I need to mark it as yellow. To do. So move swizzling is one. The other is move the capturing. And let's see if I can't remember what. Yes, this post thing that was like, it was where I extracted that one method. I extracted part of it because it was too big, and pulled that over. Do I still want to do that? We'll find out. I'm trying to remember the shortcut. Maybe this is it. Ah, C. We're drawing connectors. Connectors without lines. Here we go. There we go. All right. We'll see what there is. Yeah, I pulled this out by itself last time, and then there was the rest of it. Do I really want to do that again? Let's have a look. Where is... Is this the right one? Oh no, that's alerts. Sorry, wrong one. View controller. There we go. So here is capture the present. Here is the presenting part. All right, and it's got... Oh, Now that I know what to expect, I could try to do it in one step again. I could, but I'm scared to. Because of, so backing up for folks who weren't around, a couple sessions ago, I was like, oh, this is going to be easy. I'll just convert it all and fell down. Like, I'll take big steps. I don't need small steps all the time, and got bit by it. Small steps are a winner. And I think that it would make sense to move in small steps again. So let's do this. Okay. Let's start by moving just the posting of the notification. And here I'm going to start by extracting the Objective-C part, and this much is so fine-tuned now that I don't feel a need anymore to break these out into tree nodes. Extract the Objective-C part. Here we go. Let's do it. This is not it. This is it. Okay. Step 1. Run tests. Step 2. Extract. And we'll call this post dismissal. Can't type today. All right. So a simple extraction to make the target smaller. And that's successful. So I will commit this. Let's see if okay. I'm changed back to instead of last time I changed the commit portion to pop up as a full window instead of in the pane because I got tired of dismissing the pane. But I learned from somebody else who uses IntelliJ, and this is one of the great things about using app code, is I learn from folks using the other IDEs. That there is a advanced setting for version control, toggle the commit controls, hide the commit panel and checkboxes after the commit is performed. So let's give that a try. And this was an automated refactoring. So it falls under this category, it's automated. So R minus extract post dismissal. And let's commit and see if that goes away. It does, great. That's exactly what I wanted. I got tired of dismissing that pane, but now it goes away by itself. And that will be nice. Okay, so that's step something. Now I want to make a Swift version of this very same thing. Right? Write the Swift version. So let's go over to UI view controller. Not you. This one. Down in the bottom here. As usual, I'm going to paste it in as a reference, and then we'll start. This is going to be Obj-C func. Post dismissal. Okay, so the flag is like that. That's the flag part. Notification center. Like that. And a closure container. Nullable. The thing that always bit me before. Thank you, sir. Let's see here. It is probably nullable because it's coming over here from Objective-C. Yes, the closure container is, yes, yeah, thank you for catching me, Mudshark. The closure container initializer is, wait, no, the question mark's on the inside. The initializer is not a, what should you get? Words, the thing that, the initializer that may return a nil, whatever that's called. Well, we'll find out, right? Move in small steps and see if we can find out. Let's now copy this over and say, go to, this is post notification name object user info. Well, it's going to look a lot like this. In fact, let me try to copy it and fix it up. The object is self. Wait. All right. Object is self. There's no view controller key because something's being dismissed, not presented. So there's no view controller. Let me just make sure these names seem to match. Oops. View controller completion key. All right. Well, there it is, and it builds. Does it work? We don't know. You know, rather than committing it right away, let me try to do work in a smaller step, or rather a larger step, and say, let's just see if I can call that other thing. So here is the new one, and there's the old one. So, moment of truth. If we switch from calling the Objective-C one to calling the new one, which has a slightly different name, Will it work? And the answer is it doesn't. There we can see right away. Let me turn off the passing test. That dismissal did not work. So I got me a problem. And it's probably because I used the wrong name. Because I copied and pasted. Let's fix that up and try. And now there we are. We're green. Okay. At this point, commit. This is a test supported refactoring. So capital R. Switch to Swift to post the dismissal. With that, we can now clean out junk. That's gone. This can go away. And this is, I can safe delete that and get rid of that and run tests again, and we are still green. And that's deleting dead code. And I'm glad that I'm moving in small steps after all, because, you know, I made a mistake. I copied and pasted and I didn't fix up anything. I was checking all the keys, making sure everything in here was fine, but I forgot the name. Forgot to clean that up. All right. So that is, oh, I forgot to mark it as in progress, which would have been like that. But now it is done. This one is next. Next, considerably smaller method now to copy over. Here's, yeah, there's that nullable in there that I need to be careful of. All right, here we go. Step one, lay down, no, step one, slap it in so I don't have to look, so that it's easier to see for reference. Okay, now we start. Even though the two may not be necessary because of Swift naming, Swift to Objective-C naming, I'm going to put it in anyway. And it has the same arguments as these, except there's no view controller. Like that. Animated flag and a nullable completion closure. There we go. It's not happy func. Okay. Notification center default becomes NC. The closure container, a lot like that one, where it just makes it. And then we call this. Flag NC and the closure container. There we go. All right, so there it is. And let's see if we can switch to it. I keep saying this, but for those who haven't heard me say it, classic refactoring pattern is to leave the old thing in place while you put down the new thing, and then switch the caller over, and then get rid of the old thing. Switch any callers over, and you can switch them over one at a time. That's the beauty of it. In this case, there's only one caller, but when you're doing refactoring in a larger project where something is like called many times, then you could switch those over one at a time. Find and replace, of course, is your friend. You can try to switch them all at once, but that might not be feasible. You can switch them one at a time and then get rid of the old thing. So let's go over and see if we can't replace this. There it is. So now I'm no longer swizzling the old the standard UI kit call to dismiss to here. Instead, it's going to the Swift one. Moment of truth and test pass. Awesome. Commit. Implement rest of dismissal in Swift. All right. And now we can clean out dead code, which is here. Safe to delete that. And that. And that is dead code. I don't need to do that. I can just repeat. Whoops. Come back here. I can repeat this message. Okay. Back here. Okay. I should rename. That's part of this process here. So now a little bit more cleanup, renaming, some inlining, and some cleaning up. It's all going swimmingly well. So instead of dismiss view controller animated to animated, this should just be like that. And that is an automated rename. All right, what else? This is, let's inline this whole thing. And unfortunately, there's no inline. And fortunately, there's no return to muddy the waters here. So let's do that. Good. And as the last step of inlining, remove the old thing. All right. So this, even though it wasn't automated, this was from a published recipe for how to do inlines manually. So I'm confident to call this a lowercase r, meaning the risk of this refactoring. R stands for refactoring. Lowercase means it's safe. You don't need to check this. Capital R means it's not as safe, but it's been tested well. This means it's riskier. It's riskier. So here, I am confident in this one. This is inline method as the name of the recipe that I used. And here's another inline we can do. We don't need NC pulled out. Again, I wish I could just say inline, but without it there, we'll just do it inline variable like that. And that's better. That is looking good. And that should complete the rest of the dismissal. Next, swizzling. How you all doing out there? There's no weird problems facing me this time. Nothing. I'm not tripping over my shoelaces. But you know, if you've got questions about anything you're seeing, if you're new to my stream and haven't, oh, thank you. If you haven't seen me, some of these techniques, do ask about them. I don't know which ones you've seen and which ones you haven't. All right. Next to move over is the actual swizzling. Let's move this. Did I mark it as... Oh, you know, I forgot to mark this as in progress. That's what it looks weird. There we go. Yeah, that's better. You can trace the blue to see where I am. Where I am in the small and where that fits in the larger context of things. All right, let's move this over. Where is the swizzling? Here it is. Swizzle, capture alert, capture present. We're going to stick another one in here. In fact, let me duplicate this. Call it capture dismiss 2. And since I'm copying and pasting, it's all wrong. But let's see if we can't fix it up. All right. Place an instance method. The selector is going to be dismiss instead of present. I'm not convinced. I feel like it's this one, but that doesn't seem like the right selector for it. Because it's dismiss, flag, and completion. So I am going to copy this much here. I think that's it. And then the selector for the other one. Again, I don't trust what it's giving me here. I'm going to pull over the other arguments. All right, so there it is. I think this is right. We're replacing dismiss of animated completion to call this thing here. Let's see. Yeah, it goes to the right place. And let's see. Let's see where this is called. There it is. So if I call 2 instead. This is another nice thing about app code is that in my usage thing, so how did I get here? Let's so here I did find usages, which shows the places that something is called. You know, sometimes it works. Most of the time it works. Sometimes it doesn't, and then you resort to a find. But since you're Xcode people, you're probably used to that. In this case, it whoa. Where'd it go? Here I was all proud of like showing how I can show exactly where it's called and I can change it right there. And this time it didn't. Bummer. Fine. Wait a second. Oh, I'm looking for the wrong thing. This is the one. Yeah. I renamed it. Dismissal capture dismiss. I'm going for the wrong thing here. But I'm confused. Here I was so proud. Some lag, and I'm still kind of green. We'll catch up. All right. Is it that I already changed it? Yes, it's that I already changed it. That's why it's not finding it. Okay, let me do this again. I've reset that. I'm going to hide stuff and go back and do it again. Sorry about that. Find usages. Why, here's the usage. And the nice thing is that right here in the search results, I can do editing while leaving, not going to that in a new pane. There. So yeah, I couldn't find it because I had already changed it. Okay, switch. Sorry about that. So that's what I wanted to show off. Now we will run the tests. And they are green. Excellent. Move dismissal swizzling to Swift. Yay. Next step, dead code. Dead code. And this is defined out here as well as in the implementation because it's Objective-C. So if I say, delete this thing, there, and it's gone. Oh, it's asking me. Yes, do it. That deletes that. Wee-hee. We delete that, we delete that, and so that's getting rid of dead code. I'm just going to repeat, oops, repeat that. Here we go. All right, now it's called dismiss2. We want to rename that. Rename, run tests, and select. Okay. So that moves over the swizzling. I am very glad. What's left inside of here? All these keys. This is now empty. All right. Let's update things. So this is done. Whoops. This is done. But now there's probably some leftovers. Well, let's work on leftovers. How are we doing on time? We're doing okay. All right, so there's no point in this extension. In Objective-C, it's called a category. No point at all. Now, what about these? All these need to come over. I think it's a little confused about which keys it's using and which it's not. Because for some reason it highlights the coloring here because it's different. I think this might be app code making a mistake. But all these keys need to move over. So I think let's refine this a bit more. Move strings. Do you need all the Obj-C? Don't know. That was the other question, wasn't it? Here I do, because this is swizzled. I think that's the only at Obj-C that's left inside of here. This has to be because we're replacing one Objective-C thing with one dynamic message with another dynamic method. So let me see if we can't move these keys over. So like this key, right? Let's start with that one. Let's do 1 and see if we can't move one at a time. So if I slap this in, I'm just going to stick it out here. And not worry about the weird naming. Get rid of the at. If I do that and comment it out, will that pass? And it does. Okay, so let's commit that. And since that was successful, let's do all the rest. in one shot. In one go. And let's see if we can't do multi-cursor here. Say let like that. Error. Mock alert controller. Oh, Swift. Swift has different naming. Again, let me do this with oops. There like that, and let's try that. Still no good. Notification name has no, okay, so it's these three that are getting me. All right, let me revert that, bring them back, just the three. Okay, so I couldn't do it in one shot, but I did more. Let's get rid of stuff that's commented out. Okay, we're down to the last names here, and it's because where was it used? Notification.name. It's because the naming is different in Swift. NS notification name QCO mock. How did it know? It's because it's this, and so how do I define it, or do I? I must be able to. All right, so if I make, how do I define this in Swift? That is the question. Can I say let no? That's definitely not it. Okay. This is the problem that remains. How to define in Swift a notification name. Not something I've done a lot of because I really don't use NS Notification Center much these days. If you know, okay, here it is. This is how you define it. Note, not as a string, but as notification name. Let me just copy and paste this. I don't think there was a 2 in there, but we could try that. Anyway, here's... Let me just stick this out here. Here is the example. And if I take, say, this one, say, give me one of those, and it's going to complain probably because there is global let requires an initializer. Really? Ah, extension. Learn to read, John. Okay, so inside of notification name, we extend that. With a static. Now this should clash because, let me just try it with a 2. Well, these are the names of standard UIKit ones. How do you define your own? Like that. Okay. Almost there, almost there. And then I want to finish up. We are so close. Right, so if I say like that, finally got it right. Okay, with this, hopefully, I can get rid of that 2. Go back. That is not the right one. Now we'll try this. Oop, still no good. Still going off. This is kind of funny. When I clicked on the, like go to the definition, it's going to a stale version of my header, which is somewhere else. So let me do a clean. And let's try this again. Still no good. Ooh. Maybe since this is using I'm off in a different file. Is it an access control thing? That seems unlikely. Okay, I don't want to lose this, so let us slap that in there. Let's go back here. Extension, notification name, static let something equals something. Extension name is NS. Oh. Come on. So it looks like maybe I need to fix these up. Interesting. It's not as simple. It is because, thank you, good eye, Mudshark. Arg! Another one? Come on. Okay. I'm losing the script here. I'm going to set things back. And let me undo that change and that change there. I'm just trying to get back to green because that was too long in red. And I don't want to lose this. Let me put it out there with 2. And let's commit this. So this is a step in a refactoring, but I haven't proved anything about it. So here's my first R bang bang. Yeah. Step 1, I'm just going to get this in here. Okay. And then we've got all these others. Now, like, can I change these to notification name? That's curious. So let me just try something here. Oops. If I change them all to notification in name, get rid of the NS, will it work? Okay. I think that's a good and important step to unify the naming. So what is this? How confident am I that I didn't just break the Objective-C? I think it'll probably be okay. But I'm a little bit nervous, so I'm going to call it, say, R bang bang to express my nervousness. we'll see if that helps. All right. Now let's see if we can't switch over to the new one. If I switch, no, it didn't pick it up. Didn't I define it as 2? QCO mock view controller presented 2? Oh, it's a wrong one. All right. I'm getting tired. We've gone over. So that seems like a good place to stop. Let me just sort of note this, that what is still in progress is moving the notification names. So it's really still moving the keys, but a little more finicky than I realized. All right, that concludes our session for today. Where is it? Here we go. And that's where we'll pick up next time and be almost done. And then, who knows? This was pretty successful. There was a surprise at the end, but not bad. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thank you for your help. As always, Mudshark, appreciate it. And others, I hope this was instructional. Even if it wasn't, hey, I'm getting stuff done. And you're helping me in your rubber ducking and your concrete suggestions, Mudshark. Wonder what I keep saying, wow, this is close to being done. I really didn't expect to trip over definition of strings as being like somehow different and confusing. But we'll continue with that next time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. If you are watching this after the fact on YouTube, give it a like, subscribe. Hey, consider, if you're on Twitch, consider subscribing on Twitch as well. Thank you for joining me. I will see you next week. Don't forget to keep fighting for your rights. Peace out.